I think the government's got some real challenges to deal with the structural problems, and they do acknowledge that deep in the fine print of the budget, that the NDIS, for example, is going to cause all sorts of problems. And contrary to the government's views about this NDIS, it's not just rorting that's a problem, it's the structure of the NDIS and the incentives that it puts in, even if people aren't rorting. And I think you'll find a range of government programs that are in exactly the same position, Rita. And, I think we've got some real problems with this budget across the forward estimates.
And we've also got the bracket creep with income taxes.
Absolutely.
That's something that has been underreported. Billions more being collected just through bracket creep. So that's, again, something that needs to be addressed. And as our first guest said, all sorts of structural issues that have been really neglected completely. Now, let's go to Pakistan. We've got protests breaking out across the country there following the arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad. Of course, audience might remember him as a former cricket great as well. Well, Imran Khan is the leading opposition figure and his supporters are tearing up the country, including attacking the Army General's house in Lahore. Michael, it's absolute mayhem over there.
But it's quite typical, Rita, of Pakistani politics. Every time there's a change of government, there's corruption charges or some form of sort of punitive measure taken against the outgoing leader. I mean, it's only been in recent times that you've seen any sort of semblance of stability. So this doesn't surprise me. And unfortunately, it sets the basis for a military coup, and that's what you've really got to worry about in this particular context. Clearly, what they're trying to do is ensure that Imran Khan doesn't run in the next presidential election, where he's got a good chance of winning. So, it's a very dangerous situation, but very typical of Pakistani politics.
Well, Professor Plimer, perhaps it's not just Pakistani politics anymore. Leading opposition figure, good chance of winning the next election, facing dubious charges. You could argue the same thing's happening in the US.
Well, yes, it's got a ring of familiarity about it, but we have to remember the history of Pakistan. It was once part of the British Empire, and the British separated the Hindi and the Islamic parts of the empire, and the Islamic part became Pakistan. And that was an unholy unity of tribal warlords underpinned by Islam. And it's a country where corruption is rife. It's rife at every single level in the country. It's a country where there are political assassinations, and it's a country that's nuclear armed. Now, the tactics they use in Pakistan are very familiar. I suspect they're happening in a country that's between Mexico and Canada.